Oh, Daisy Ridley reveals that work offers were scarce after Star Wars trilogy concluded. Might be just because she's not a very good actor. She look. I've seen her in other things. She's not the best actor. But I do find it funny that it's kind of being phrased as this like big reveal, isn't it? Like, oh, she didn't really get much work. It's like, well, yeah, if you're not very good at your job, you don't, do you? Really? You know, like, come on now, behave. Awful. This article is linked down below, so please do read along with me. Now, in a recent interview, Daisy Ridley revealed that she had trouble finding acting work after the Star Wars sequel trilogy concluded. I cannot imagine, unless she takes a massive step back and does what Robert Pattinson did. I know, shocker. Robert Pattinson is actually a really good actor. But he was kind of typecast, and a lot of people hated him because of Twilight, right? Completely understandable. But he is a good actor, and he took a step back and he did a lot of indie films. And if you watch Tenet, you'll see I think Tenet will turn a lot of people around. Especially on the lead up to Batman, and then I think Batman will seal it and people will go, he's good, like, we believe in him now. But the problem is Daisy really can't really do that because she's not a very good actor anyway. So unless she takes a step back, does indie films, hones her craft a bit more, and then works back up to bigger films, I think she doesn't have much of a career, because she was like a charisma vacuum in Star Wars, wasn't she? She was awful. It'd be like Brie Larson, for instance, right? Brie Larson doesn't get much work at all. If you think about the films she has actually been in outside of Captain Marvel, what can you name? What, Kong Skull Island? All right then. What, Scott Pilgrim? Was Scott Pilgrim, wasn't it? I mean, what has she been in? Like nothing. Basmati Blues? We don't talk about that. What we do, we talk about that. She doesn't want to talk about that. You know, they get handed the keys to like a bigger franchise. They're like, oh my god, I'm the bomb. And then the narcissism kind of comes out. And Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, especially, massively narcissist. Daisy Ridley, not so much a narcissist, but still probably thinks she should be getting offered more. And actually, she should be, really, if the Star Wars movies were good, and if she was a good actor. Should be got offered more. Now, anyway, Ridley discussed the absence of work offers presented to her during a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly. The interview focused primarily on her role in the upcoming video game 12 Minutes. During the interview, Ridley recalled how she felt a sense of panic after Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker because nothing was coming through in the months after its release. But again, unfortunately, part of that is just owning up to the fact that, you know, maybe you're not very good. And does it suck? Yeah, of course it does. But it's unfortunate, isn't it? It's life. So anyway, she continued and says, when the film was released, I was like, oh my god. It was such a huge chapter. She proceeded to describe her current career status as recovering from the past few months of not having much. But explains that while obviously now it's really nice to be working, her lack of work allowed her to process the last 5 years. Like, even Jasper's come up to comment on the nonsense. So basically, you know, the last 5 years and a bit of recovery from this, but she's still not really getting much. And it does show a total amount of narcissism. Not as much as Brie Larson from Captain Marvel, because she quite literally believes the world owes her everything. But yeah, not over narcissistic, but still narcissistic enough to be like, eh. Anyway, she continues and says, to be forced to slow down, it was good mentally for me, because Star Wars, a big thing in my life, explained Ridley. I was like, no one wants to employ me. And again, the point is that Daisy Ridley's not inherently like a nasty person, you know? She's not really narcissistic to the huge level that Brie Larson is. She's not a horrible person. Doesn't seem to be anyway. I don't know her personally. She just seems a bit sheltered. You know, was given lots of education, given acting classes and schools and all this stuff, and just kind of expects it now on her feet because she's been in Star Wars. And I get that, you would. But she's just not very good, is she? So it is quite comical that she's sort of, you know, expecting it. But no, I mean, I can't imagine lots of people would want to employ her. She needs to go back and hone her craft a bit more. Ridley then described how, weirdly, at the beginning of the year, nothing was coming through, and then noted, there were actually loads of things that I auditioned for at the beginning of the year, and didn't get any of them. That should tell you something. However, after Ridley had that moment of, oh my god, and then just thought everything in its in its right time, the actress claims things started to pick up. Since the conclusion of Star Wars, Ridley has only appeared on a few projects, one as a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, another co-starred in the upcoming science fiction film Chaos Walking, and finally she provided narration for the IMAX documentary Asteroid Hunters. In regards to her upcoming projects, aside from starring opposite X-Men and Split star James McAvoy in 12 Minutes, Ridley will also lend her voice to an Oculus exclusive animated interactive film Baba Yaga and an original Audible series titled Islanders. Basically nothing. Shame, I guess. Despite her lack of concrete work, offers were still being made to Ridley. As she stated, there have been awesome things and obviously no one knows when they're gonna go. At the conclusion of the interview, Ridley teased, there's one thing that I'm going to do that's super effing dark. I was like, do we need something this dark? But it's also really interesting and about memory and everything's a bit fragmented. I definitely feel like what I want to watch and I guess be part of is something with some joy. That's what people need. Well, they do. But also, it's fun to explore a bit of dark stuff. So it is quite comical, isn't it? She's not really had anything, to be fair. Shame, like I say, shame, because she's not a horrible person. I don't think she deserves to not work out of nastiness. She's just not very good. And that shows, right? You know, people are asking for her voice because it's distinctive, I guess, and is somewhat refined, upper class, maybe-ish, British sounding. So, yeah, maybe that's why they're getting her voice, because that's what it is, right? I mean, 12 minutes, I'm pretty sure that's an animated thing anyway. So again, voice, and then, you know, a voice to an Oculus, and then an Audible series. It's all literally just a voice. So there you go. I just find this quite comical, really. But it's interesting, isn't it, how some actors choose not to really address anything. So look, here's a few examples, right? Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, not a great actor, or wasn't anyway. Terrible, in fact, for ages. But my God, did he really work his arse off to get better? Now, am I saying he's a good actor now? Not really, but he's better than he was, you know. But he just starred in anything and was just doing anything and everything and was really honing his craft. Dave Bautista, right? Dave Bautista came onto the scene. I think I first remember seeing him in The Man with the Iron Fist. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing here, mate? Like, get off my TV. But he's gotten much better. And I would actually say Dave Bautista is a good actor. I think he's personally surprised me in Blade Runner 2049. And I think he's going to surprise everyone in the upcoming movie Dune. So there is hope for Daisy Ridley. But she needs to acknowledge the fact that she needs to work at it. You know, the problem is the other people were hungrier because they weren't actors by trade. Although you could probably say wrestling is acting by trade, but they weren't actors by trade. They wanted to get into it, so they really worked their arse off for it. They were very, very hungry for it, and it shows. Daisy Ridley, not so much. She's a trained actor. She went to school for acting. She paid privately. She, very prestigious institutions for acting. I don't think she's as hungry as the likes of, people who are trying to get into it. They seem hungrier. They seem more focused. So it is interesting, but I think she could be good. She just needs to work at it a bit more and also acknowledge the fact that she's not very good, rather than just kind of saying, people don't want me, and this one's dark, and we need some joy, and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. But there you go. And for the likes of Brie Larson, she's just soft cheese, Queen Brie, Queen of the cheeses, Queen Cheese Larson. Hope she never gets any more. I'm joking. Anyway, every day she's just acting to try and act like a human. Anyway, if there ever was a lizard person of Hollywood, it's Sunday. I'll do anything on Sunday. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below in the comment section. If you're new here, do hit. You're probably not going to hit subscribe after this video, that's for sure. But do if you want, I guess, if you stayed this long. As always, if I missed H, take care.